On my channel, I've covered tons of different ways to play your retro games, and one of the most popular options is emulation, because it's cheap. There's a lot of access. A lot of times it's free if you already have a device that you can run these games on, right? But a lot of people, they like plug and play devices that are just ready to go, and I've covered a lot of them on my channel, and plenty of them really haven't given glowing reviews to. The pre-made stuff that you can get off of Amazon, eBay, and whatnot. Straight from China, pretty much. And one of my biggest issues is always that it's like a ROM dump, very sloppy. A lot of the games don't work. Things are messed up. The controls are jacked. You know, it's not really plug and play unless you think that 10 to 30% of the games being playable is plug and play. To me, it's kind of, it's junky, right? And I always recommend, because people will be like, well, which one do you recommend? And I don't really recommend any of them because I just haven't found one that I think they've done good with. But what I've always recommended is do it yourself. But at the same time, there's always pushback on that. Like, people don't have the time. They don't want to. They don't know how. Plenty of reasons. And I'm not judging anybody with that. But I think it's time to start getting back to some of my roots here and start showcasing other options of, hey, you can do it yourself even if you don't want to do it yourself. There's plenty of people out there who have made builds that you could just download and load it up on a mini PC, an Android device, a Raspberry Pi, and just start gaming. And a lot of people, they're always like, I want PS2, GameCube, Wii U, that kind of thing. You're going to need a little bit more power with that. But today what I wanted to cover and take a look at is CoinOPS Legends 2 Bit Wars build that I have downloaded. I just downloaded it yesterday, put it on this hard drive. I have this little mini PC here, and I just want to do a quick test. Like, it's not really a review on this mini PC. I'll be doing a separate video on this, but we're going to be using it here. So this is the Geekom Mini IT11. I haven't even opened it yet. This is an Intel Core i7, Iris Xe graphics. There's the specs on the sticker if you want to freeze frame. But I'm going to open this up, get it set up, put it up on the TV here, get this CoinOPS build going, and test some games. Just showcase, like, hey, I downloaded this fairly easily. You can as well, but let's see how well it runs on, a little mini PC, right? And there's tons of these little mini PCs. I've covered a few of them on my channel, different specs, price points, and whatnot. It's got a full-size SD card reader on this thing. That's nice. Cool. So we are set up, booted up, and ready to go. I didn't even sign into this PC. I just said, hey, Microsoft, I don't have the internet. Let's get going, right? So I've got my hard drive with the CoinOPS build plugged in and ready to go. So really the point here is, I want to showcase this build, but just how easy it is to, be set up with everything. So let me go ahead and get to the CoinOPS build. All of this stuff here is what I downloaded, ready to go. Now, from my experience with CoinOPS PC builds, a lot of times they'll include this fixes when not working folder, and you'll have stuff like DirectX, the C++, redistributables, that kind of thing. And I just run all that. The runtimes, I install everything, and then I'm pretty much good to go. So let's go ahead, go down here, click on the application Bit Wars, let it load up, test out some games, see what this build has. So real quick, we're going to go through all the systems. We've got arcade classics. There's 261 games there. Sega Genesis, 75 games. From the looks of this is like a best of collection. But you got some like higher powered systems here. 75 Super Nintendo games. 24 PC Engine games. Looking pretty slick with this theme here. Very clean. Nintendo 64, 23 games. So I think this build, it's a 256 gigabyte build. There's a good number of disk-based systems here. So yeah, it's going to take up a lot of space, but I think this is a good starter build as far as what I'm seeing so far. Sega Saturn, we got 17 games. GameCube, 31. Some cool stuff there. Yeah, there's missing some games I would like to see on here. But hey, you could start off with this build and build upon it, I guess. We got 10 games. Some interesting ones. Wii U, very nice. 7 games. Some heavy hitters there. PS1 runs on everything, but 36 games here. PS2, wow, we got 8 games. PS3, looks like some download games. Interesting stuff. There's only 4 though. PSP, we've got 29 games. And then Game Boy Advance 26, NES 38, like a little classic edition setup here. Master System 18 games, Atari 16, Amiga 25, Commodore 64 25, ZX Spectrum 28 games, Game & Watch 18 games, okay. So now that we've looked through this build, see what it includes, I wanted to test out some of the more demanding stuff. Now, like, I'm sure Super Nintendo is going to run just fine on plenty of devices here, right? But with what I'm looking at, Wii U, Saturn, even Nintendo 64, some of this stuff is really going to be dependent upon the system that you're running it on. But with this little mini PC, which is kind of a secondary thing here that I'm highlighting, everything's been running very well. I haven't had any issues with games just not working. And, you know, playing Wii U didn't have any issues. Playing the Wii, GameCube, Sega Saturn, I wasn't really seeing any issues with any of these systems. And this is why I prefer either doing it myself. As I've said, like, it's hard to recommend these plug-and-play systems they sell on Amazon where there's 200,000 games and maybe 1,000 of them run. I don't know. I know I'm exaggerating a little bit, but in reality, I'm not exaggerating much because there's plenty of them. Like 117,000 games in one, and you know most of them are duplicates, and then a good number of them don't run because it's just a quick money grab, and people buy those things. These pre-set up builds that you could download, like CoinOPS for PC, you know, RetroPie for the Raspberry Pi, people put in work, and not everybody's perfect. So there may be some hiccups here and there. It happens. But there's a lot more care put into these pre-made builds that are just offered to you for free to download. I know not everybody wants to download these kind of things, but the people working on this stuff, they care a lot more about what they're working on than these little devices off of Amazon. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. So this build here, you know, kind of looking at this little mini PC and this build, kind of a, you know, a weird video, kind of mixed it up a little bit here on what we're looking at. But with this build, it is very clean. It's customizable, you know, through some advanced configs and, you know, the background themes. You can change things out with these little scripts that are included. There's a lot of cool stuff here. It's a small build, but it's definitely a great starter build, in my opinion. So really do appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. I think we're gonna be looking at more builds, more ways to play, trying to help people figure out, like, hey, you could save some money. I know it's not gonna persuade everyone. There's still gonna be tons of people who prefer to just buy something ready to go, have a little mini console. But you know, you kind of get what you pay for. Some people are happy with it, but as long as you understand and, you know, have your expectations in check, spend your money as you will. You know, that's on you. But thanks for watching. Bye.